think it's going. Usually pops up that it's recording. Did it pop up? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, I'm Chris McDavid, and I am the director for the Office of Career Education, and we put together this meet and greet to update everyone on our activities this year. As with the entire university, things have changed this fall, and so we have tried to adapt our activities to meet the needs of students this fall in a virtual manner as well. So that's kind of what we wanted to go over today. Everybody's used to our big career fairs and things like that, and so a lot of that has changed. And we also have several new staff members, so we wanted to introduce those folks to you as well. And I'm fairly new. I've just been here about a year and a half now. So what we're going to do is kind of go through the staff here and introduce ourselves, and then we'll kind of get started. So Jennifer.
Hi, everyone. It's Jennifer Brown. I'm the Assistant Director for Student Engagement and Marketing here in the Office of Career Education, and I've been here almost 9 years, so I'm the oldie.
Denny.
Hi, I'm Denny Doherty. I'm Senior Career Development Specialist. Do you want like our specialty or just our name and title, Chris?
And that's up to you. You can tell what you want about yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, my primary focus is working with students who either might be undecided, might have additional questions about their major. I know a number of familiar faces on here. A number of you have been referring me students for years, and that's great. That's kind of my focus, and also some new new digital outreaches, which I'm going to talk about later.
Beth.
Hi, everybody. I'm Beth. I work primarily with students on campus, and I work with professors and faculty if they have asked us to come to their class and present or follow up and do class assignments. And we'll talk about Handshake here in a little bit. And one of my, duties that I do is to send out job alerts to students. So we'll talk about that. And so if any of your students come to you and ask you if you got an email from me and if it's spam, a couple of students have sent the emails to phishing, and so they have reached out to me. It's not spam, it's all true, it's all good, but that's primarily what I do in the office.
Okay, and Ashley?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Vanderpool. I'm the coordinator of the Career Exploration Experience Program. We'll be talking about that a little later. Primarily, I work with both students and employers to organize job shadowing, company tours, informational sessions, both on and off campus. I have been here for about a year, but my position started out temporary last fall, and then I convinced Chris and everyone in the office to like me and keep me full time. So I started permanently in January.
Kristen.
Sorry, Kristen Sims. I'm new, but I was doing the math and I've been here almost like 5 months now, which is kind of crazy because I started right when all of the COVID things happened. I'm pretty much following, kind of shadowing everyone in the office to see what goes on and what all things we have to help the students. But I am primarily working with students with their professional documents, reviewing them, meeting them in different meetings for determining their majors or whatever I'm needed for, really. I'm just happy to be needed, and I'm happy to be here.
And then we have Erin.
Hi, everyone. Erin LaFawn. I started the end of January this year. I am the Employer Relations Coordinator, so I took over when Debbie Stoller retired. Lucky for her. I primarily work with employers, kind of the liaison between our office and employers with recruiting and job postings, those kind of things. So if you have any needs for employers or if your students are looking for particular jobs or internships, I would be the person that they could contact for that. So glad to be here.
Have you got your screen on, Erin, so they can see your happy face and know who you are?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, sorry, didn't see you pop up there.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so that's pretty much, I think, did I miss anybody? I think that's everybody in the office. So as you can see, there are several of us that are fairly new around here. So we want to get an introduction out of what we're doing. And now Jennifer's going to talk about our events and how those have changed and what we're doing for the fall.
So I'm going to attempt to share my screen. Hopefully, I have a lot of things I need to share today, so hopefully this works out. So the first thing I'm sharing is the Career Expo. So can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our Career Expo has moved virtual. And we decided, because we're moving it virtual, that we would try to break it out into more focused fairs, see how this goes. So we will be hosting those on Handshake. Handshake is our new platform that we switched from Job Tracks, which was Simplicity. So now we're on Handshake. Students will need to RSVP for all of these expos because they will be held online. So on October 6th, this is for all majors. So if you are in contact with any employers who are reaching out about your students, or that you have a good relationship, we would very much appreciate if you would share this information with them. We know that the world's a little crazy right now, and so we're not seeing a high number of companies register at this point where we normally would in the past. So we're reaching out and asking for help with that. So that's October 6th. October 8th is primarily for business majors. October 13th is for engineering and science. And then October 15th is health professions. All of the expos will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Students don't have to attend that whole time, but what employers are doing is they're setting up schedules where they can do a one-on-one with students, or they can have a group session with up to 50 students where they will be able to do kind of like a presentation or their spiel like they normally would at an in-person event. So we're really excited about it. This is new for everyone in career services on Handshake. So we're excited to see how this goes. And hopefully we'll be back in person in the spring. All right, so that's the expo. Then to get students prepared for the expo, we have a job prep fair. So that is going to be held on September 30th and October 1st from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it is going to be held on Teams. So we are asking students to RSVP for this event on Handshake so that we can then send them the Teams link. And the sessions we're going to include are resume help, networking, virtual interview skills, and career resources at the library. So this is a partnership with the library as well. And this is something that we did in person last year, and it went really well. And so we definitely wanted to offer this to students again, especially with virtual interviewing and virtual networking probably being relatively new to most students. We wanted to make sure we were helping prepare them for that. Okay. Next is the Etiquette Dinner. So as of right now, we are tentatively holding this on October 7th. We are waiting to get approval from the university to hold this. But this is a great event, and we really hope we're able to do it for students, because this is one of our best attended events, and students really love it, and they come back multiple times because they get so much out of it each time they come. So this is for primarily juniors, seniors, and graduate students. We may have to limit attendance. We're still kind of waiting on all of those regulations from the university. So, but tentatively, it will be on October 7th. And then finally for me, let's see, where is it? Well, I don't see it on my screen share, so I'll just tell you about it. is JCPenney Suit Up event. So in the past, we have done this in person at JCPenney's, and it's a opportunity for students to come and get a discount on interview attire, business attire, basically everything they would need to attend a expo and dress professionally, or attend their first job, or interview and dress professionally. JCPenney's is working with us, and they are allowing us to do it online this year. So rather than one day, it's actually going to be 3 days. So that will be October 4th through the 6th. And again, we're asking students to sign up for this on Handshake, because we will have a specific link that is just for Marshall students. This is also for staff, faculty, alumni. So anyone who wants to be a part of this event that maybe they're not necessarily on Handshake to get that link, can reach out to me and I can send that to them. So that will be October 4th through 6th. And it's about a 30% discount on top of already discounted items. So if a student is already being offered at 15%, then they'll get an additional 30% off. So it's a really great sale. We love this partnership, and we're excited that we're still able to do it in COVID times.
Thanks, Jennifer. Up next, Ashley is going to talk a little more about the career exploration experience.
Hello, Jennifer, are you able to share the screen for the event flyer? There we go. Thank you. Okay, so if you have not already heard about the Career Exploration Experience Program, which is the CE program, it is an exploratory learning opportunity for students to attend job shadowing, company tours, and informational interviews. And those are held both on campus and off campus, depending on the employer's needs at the time. This program, prior to COVID-19, we had students going out in different career fields, leaving campus, and due to the current needs of students and employers, CEE is now being available virtually, which we have found to be very successful thus far. Students have access to various career exploration opportunities, including 30-minute reels. This is a recorded informational series from experts in numerous career fields. We've recorded those. We have those available on YouTube and on our online platforms. We are also hosting virtual employer panels and live employer discussions. So personally, there's nothing better than an in-person event. But what I found is that virtual career exploration opportunities, networking events, and interviews online are becoming more and more popular. And over hosting different and participating in different mock interviews on campus, I've noticed that some of the skills needed for virtual events, a lot of students are lacking in. So these opportunities is a great way to build upon those professional networking skills virtually, so that students are more prepared for those upcoming virtual interviews in the future. So I'm excited about the virtual opportunities that we have available and the skills that students can build upon these experiences. How students can participate: they first have to attend a CE workshop, and this is where they would learn how to network with professionals and build professional skills. They then complete a resume, and we will be discussing Handshake a little more in a second, but they would upload that document on Handshake for someone in our office to review. They then could attend the CE opportunity and practice some of those professional skills that they learned throughout the workshop. And they can repeat this process as much as they want, which is something that I love. Last semester, in particularly, I had a student that was completely undecided, had no idea what she wanted to do, and she participated in 6 different CE opportunities. After each one, she contacted me and told me what she liked about the employer that she was looking at, what she disliked about the career, and by the end of the semester, she declared her major. So just seeing her learn her likes and dislikes and build confidence and learn how to network with different professionals was just a great experience, both for the student and for me. So that's just one example of how this program can benefit students. On the other side, sometimes students think they know what they want to do, and their ideas of what a career looks like is not actually what it is. One example I have is I had a student come to me when I first started saying that she wanted to be a nurse. She wanted to participate in job shadowing to kind of network with different nurses. I asked her why, and she said because she loved Grey's Anatomy. So after going in and job shadowing at a local hospital, she realized she did not like the sight of blood. So it can benefit both students that are undecided and those that are just gung-ho, think they know what they want to do, just to kind of see what an actual day at work could look like for them.
Okay. Up next, we're going to talk a little bit about Handshake. As Jennifer mentioned earlier, we have converted from job tracks to Handshake. There were several reasons for that, but it seems to be a much more user-friendly program on the student side and the employer side. So we're going to talk a little bit about Handshake, and everyone should have a Handshake account now. We did add all faculty and staff as students, more or less, so that you can see exactly what the students are going to see. You can access Handshake under your MyMU. You do have single sign-on access to it, so your username and password should work to get you in. And then you should be able to see jobs, job openings, any of the internship openings, anything like that gets posted. All of our events will be on there. Some of the employers are setting up interviews on Handshake, so you can see those types of events. So Jennifer and Beth are going to talk a little bit about Handshake now.
Jennifer, you want me to start?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So as Chris said, all of you all have access to Handshake under the Resources and Tools tab in MyMU. And it's a newer program. We've been working on it. That's what we did a lot of training on during our time at home with COVID. And Jennifer has put 2 files up into the team. One is how to upload documents to Handshake, and the other one is explaining to students how they can schedule their own appointments. So it is more user-friendly. It has an algorithm that's very similar to like Spotify or Netflix or something like that. So when students go into their Handshake account and start liking things or disliking things, they'll get suggestions on jobs or internships based on the things that they like. So I do think it's more user friendly, and it looks a little bit about the things that they already use. And Erin, who posts the jobs in our office, I know she can tell you, and I can tell you that in the past with job tracks, we have posted on average a month, like 250 jobs, 250 internships. And now we have thousands that we post every month. I mean, because this network goes along all colleges and universities, not all, but many have picked up and they're starting to use Handshake. So I think once students start to use it, they will like it. You can download the app. It's very user friendly. And one thing that I have not done yet with Handshake that I need to do, and once I have it done, I'll have Jennifer post it on here, is a walkthrough on how students can attend a virtual expo, because we're learning that right now in our office as well. So once we have that done, I'll give it to Jennifer and she can upload it as well. But I think it's very user friendly. You all can get in there and play around with it. You can show students how to use it. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me, Jennifer, Chris, or really anybody in the office, and we can help.
Yeah, the only other thing I wanted to highlight was the importance of students creating their profile to completion. So when they do that, they're able to get those personalized recommendations on jobs that Beth was talking about. So there are certain things that they have to fill out, such as previous experience, location, activities or organizations that they're involved with. So it's just super important that students are getting on there, one, and activating their account, which is what we're trying to do right now, spreading the word that Handshake is new. We're no longer using job tracks. Get on and activate your account. And they have to activate their account to be able to attend any of the events that I talked about previously.
And did you have a handout for making their appointments, Jennifer?
Yes, sorry, I thought that was showing.
That's okay.
I think it did show. Yeah.
Did
I
it?
think I
Okay.
saw it.
Yeah, so we encourage students to go ahead and make their appointments using Handshake. Sometimes that's a little easier than going back and forth an email with them, going what day and time is going to work for you, things like that, so they can make their own appointments. We would also ask that if you know of something on your department's website that mentions job tracks, to please go ahead and update that to Handshake. We were notified earlier this week from someone who had clicked on a link, of course, that is dead now for job tracks. We tried to catch all of those over the summer, but you know how large our website is. So if you know of something on your department's website that mentions job tracks, we would ask to just update that to Handshake if you would, please. Okay. Up next, Denny's going to talk a little bit about Navigate Referrals and then talk about his new initiatives with Career Ed Live and Overheard at Career Education.
All right, thank you, Chris. Yeah, with Navigate Referrals, we are now I believe, an ad hoc referral that you can complete with Navigate. We received our first one this week. I got the referral on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm actually meeting with the student this afternoon. So it looks like a pretty seamless process. Like I said, I know a number of you have just emailed me student referrals over the years. It's funny because I actually got one in email like since this meeting's been going on. So they do happen, and I love that. I think for us to like track things and keep better track and reporting and things like that, getting a referral through Navigate is probably, I don't know how you feel about it, Chris. I think probably better than getting it through email. I mean, we'd love it either way. Probably going through Navigate's probably the ideal thing to do. But regardless, yeah, just continue to send any referrals our way. I mean, of course, anytime students need anything career related, that's why I always tell students if it pertains to careers in some way, it's in our name. We can assist you with it. A lot of our referrals tend to be students who have questions about the major, questions about careers, and that's what the one I received like 10 minutes ago is, and we tend to see a high percentage of those. So yeah, like I said, just when you go into Navigate, I presume a lot of you attended training they did 2 or 3 weeks ago on that, and of course we are now an option. If you have any questions on that, please just reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you about that a little bit. And finally, with Career Ed Live and Overheard at Career Education, we're doing some new outreaches, which we kind of, prior to COVID and all that, we kind of had talked about anyway, but we figured there's no time like the present. So the one I'm probably arguably most excited about is the podcast. We're working on getting this to where I'm hoping to get it on Apple and like Spotify and be like, dare I say it, like a legit podcast. The first 4 podcast sessions are available, so you can check them out anytime. They're available on our YouTube channel. Jennifer, is there a link to our YouTube channel in the chat? I haven't looked.
I will add it.
Okay, that'd be awesome. I thought maybe just like our homepage, which will be great too, because then you can check out Ashley's like the CEE 30-minute reels and things like that. But Overheard at Career Education, the podcast, we're going to do that twice a month. Career Ed Live, that's going to be like a live Q&A session. We're going to do those once a month. And there's a couple other, we've even talked about maybe making some videos or some other digital outreaches we're looking into as well. But I'm really excited in particular about the podcast. I interviewed a student yesterday who actually grew up in the same county that I did. She was in the podcast. I mean, she just knocked it out of the park, blew it out of the water. It was a wonderful podcast. I'm still waiting on a few things to be able to post it, but I can't wait to get that up. And I'm just really excited about this. We're going to do probably once a month, what we call like a student spotlight. I'm probably going to organize those by college. That way everyone can be represented. I don't want to hit one college too heavily and then ignore another. So we're going to try to make sure all colleges are represented. So of course, anytime you have ideas for students who might be good for Student Spotlight, let me know. In particular, I want students who have done a lot of things we tell people to do, students who have done internships, who've done part-time jobs, who have participated, students who are doing more than the bare minimum is really what I'm looking for. On that. So that's a little bit about our new virtual outreaches. Like I said, I mean, as far as podcasts and things like that, I think we're still kind of on the early end, but I know a number of schools are doing that. So I'm happy we can jump in and just get information to students. I know a lot of students are podcast people anyway, so I think that would be a great way to kind of meet students where they are. Is there anything else you wanted me to touch on, Chris?
If you want to mention some of the topics you've already covered, like with Bill Bissett and
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. As far as topics go, I know a couple weeks ago, we had Bill Bissett on. He talked about the importance of volunteering. Kristen from our office, we talked about illegal interview questions. Aaron LaFawn and I talked about navigating a difficult job market. I actually recorded one by myself, some questions I would ask students to try to determine, do you think you're on the right path? Things like that. And actually, I'll go ahead and mention too, because I had sent a survey out, I think about a week ago, so it's late last week, asking students about what kind of things are they interested in. And some of the most important areas to students are developing career skills, locating opportunities, and then career path and major decisions. Because that's why, like for instance, with the Career Ed Live, that's one reason I don't have topics yet. I think I've gotten, I know what I'm going to do this coming week. We have one, and I'm going to talk about, I believe, like nonverbal communication in the workplace, just because I think that'd be really neat. But what I'm going to be doing for Career Ed Live, which is different from the podcast, students mentioned an interest in employer skills. So I think what I want to do for them is go back to talk about the NACE 8 competencies. And NACE, of course, is an organization we look to a lot. And I thought maybe doing 1 or 2 per session. That way, we can get through them relatively quickly. But we can talk with students about those skills that are going to make them employable when they enter the workforce. So, yeah. Is there anything else you want me to touch on?
I think that about covers it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. That's pretty much all the topics we have to update on. So we wanted to leave a little bit of time for some Q&A. I've seen a few questions coming through the chat, so we appreciate those, but I'll open it up now. And if you have some questions for anyone in particular or all of us, we would be glad to answer those.
While you're thinking of your questions, I just wanted to highlight that the way that you can log in, this was mentioned in the chat, but the way that you can log into Handshake is through MyMU, and then on the left-hand side, it's under resources. If you don't, for some reason, have that option, you can go to marshall.joinhandshake.com, and then that will lead you to your single sign-on to use your MyMU information to get logged in.
And then Jennifer has added the link to our YouTube page that has the digital content, which would include all of the interviews with employers that Ashley has been doing. We also had a student moderate those. We're trying to involve students as much as possible in these activities because we feel, of course, that students listen to other students better than they do us most of the time. So we are trying to involve students as much as possible. We have a couple of graduate assistants that will be helping us with some of these future activities as well. So any questions, thoughts?
Where did you say
anything?
they can access the podcast?
The podcast right now we have that's on the YouTube channel, and it's like what it is. It's a kind of like if you want to call it a video, but basically it's a still shot of the individual, and then you can get the audio. I'm still working on getting that into, and I believe, Casey Stevens had posted some information on that. And I've been, when time allows, I've been researching. I really want to get it to like Apple and Spotify. But if you want to listen to them like right now, they're on the YouTube channel. And something we've really tried on the YouTube channel is to organize our content by playlist, which is a recommended best practice anyway. But that'll also, I think, make things easier to find for for you all or for students. But you can access the podcast right now on YouTube.
Jennifer has the link. Jennifer has the link to that in our chat. And then you can also go to our website, the Office of Career Education website, and we also have a link to it there as well under the resources for students.
Yes, and Amanda, we will be having the Educator Expo, hopefully in person, but if not, we will do it virtually. Again, that will kind of depend on how school systems are doing at that time. But we hope we will have something. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
I have a questions about the career Expos too. It's Jennifer Mack. My students are interdisciplinary. So can they attend like other career expo rather than restricted to health professions?
Absolutely. They can attend all 4 if they would like. We just wanted to group together employers who were looking for those specific majors, but obviously students have transferable skills and they might want to go into a different area, or they might have a minor or something like that. So absolutely, students can attend all 4 expos.
Thank you.
Any other questions or thoughts to share?
I have a question. I was going into the handshake.com, and it seems as though it's prompting for students instead of faculty, so I'm not sure if I went to the correct place. So I don't have the resource tools on my end for my MU, so I was reluctant to continue to the next portion of the sign up. So
did it show a single sign-on for Marshall University for you when you went to Marshall?
I did a search for Marshall, and I clicked in, and it took me to a page where it said community, employer, and something else. But it had it checked as community, so I went ahead and put done, or click done, and then it starts asking me about how do you identify yourself. So it seems to me it's for the student as opposed to the faculty. So I didn't know whether to continue on there.
Did you say it lets you use your Marshall username and password to log in?
It took me automatically in without a request for that.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's something that other faculty are experiencing.
Once you get in, it will look very similar. It'll look like what a student would see. That's how it's set up for most faculty and staff. We see something a little bit different on the career education side of things, just because we're the administrators of it. But for faculty and staff, you will see it more like the student side.
So,
Okay.
Dr. Dixon, on your MyMU homepage, you don't have this resources and tools green tab?
Let me go back, because I was looking under the far left that has the home. I was looking under the 3 bars or menu first.
Okay, so you can click on this green resources and tools tab, you should see,
I see
hopefully
it now.
see Handshake.
And it's taking me to the same page to prompt me. So I suppose, I just have to go through the steps, once the meeting is over. So,
yeah, it'll walk you through the same similar steps that a student would loading in.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Well, certainly if you run into any situations or you have any other questions as you get into Handshake and start working with it, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be glad to help. As we're learning as well, so we may not be able to answer it immediately. We may have to do some digging around on our part as well, but we're very excited about the product. We do think it will be very beneficial to students. As Jennifer mentioned earlier, if they complete their profile, there's like an 80% chance, improved chance of them actually being contacted by an employer. So we're excited about those opportunities for our students, and is the primary reason why we made the change. So please feel free to reach out, and thank you so very much for joining us today. And we hope to be able to see everyone in person very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.